Hello and welcome to another Tower Solo, where today we're going to be looking at the Pokemon Presents from yesterday, specifically the trailer for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. So sadly, Andrew is unable to be with us today for family reasons. So I hope you're okay with dealing with just me as the host today. So anyway, we can check out the trailer itself. I guess we can start here. So what's interesting in this part of the trailer is just all of the different things in this room that this security guard is checking out in, and it does focus on them a little later in the trailer once we go back. But like, why is the clock moving? Why are these lights flickering? The lights look really strange. Could even be part of like Spanish thing, which is apparently what the region's based off of. But anyway, now that we're in the TV, we get this shot, and I can probably go into full screen. We get this shot, rainbow in the background, just this giant city, lots of trees and stuff. And it's looking like this is going to be a sort of wild area for the next generation of Pokemon. At least this area up front here is. And pretty much the trailer only focuses on what we can see. So we can see this giant city, Pokeball building, and just this huge mass of land, which is definitely extending far off the camera. We see this shot, so it's sunset, which confirms that there will be a day and night cycle in this game, and we've also got, a pretty big lake, which probably means we are going to be able to traverse it in some means. And then this shot, it's just a different shot from what we saw at the beginning, since we can see the building up here. You got the moon in the background. I don't know. Nighttime looks very nice. They seem to have followed up on the night cycle from Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Okay, foggy shot of the main city. And here we go. We're looking. All right, actually, I wanted to. I noticed something in this shot with the windmills. So as you can probably see, like pay attention to the three different windmills here. This one is going to move a lot faster, or at least at a more consistent frame rate than the two in the back, and this one too. So if you actually go in frame by frame, which I've done in preparation for this video, you can actually begin to notice something. So the way that YouTube works is you can press period to advance one frame at a time. So if you do that, see that the windmill in the front moved, and then that's one frame. Two more frames, the windmill in the middle moved, and two more frames, the windmill in the back moved. So what seems to be happening here is that the windmill in the front moves every 2 frames, the windmill in the middle moves every 4 frames, and the windmill in the back moves every 6 frames. And so if you don't know what that means, basically, in short, the farther something away is, the lower its frame rate is going to be, which means that it's going to be a lot more choppy. And that's something that Legends Arceus has done. That's something that a lot of other Pokemon games have done. But just interesting to see how it's consistent that way. Okay, so we get another couple more shots. In this shot, it is raining, which confirms that just like the wild area in Sword and Shield, the wild area, at the very least, of this region is going to have weather. And this shot is also sunset, and you see the Drifloon over the water here doing something very interesting that I don't think I've ever seen Drifloon do. He just does a little spin. And that's an animation that I don't think I've seen. And same thing with Meowth here. Him scratching his nose is another animation that I don't think I've ever seen. We got Stormtrooper walking, another shot, Swablues. Alright, so here's Pikachu. And so I guess something that we should probably draw some attention to, and something that's been receiving a lot of attention on social media, is that the graphics are not looking too hot. The graphics in Pokemon games have never looked too hot ever since they've gone onto the Switch, but the floor here is not looking great at all. The backgrounds, these tiles are very pixelated. the game is going to need a lot of polish graphically, and hopefully it's going to receive it because in this art style, like detail is very important. And on a different note, like I said, Pikachu is doing an animation that he does not have in any other games, which is really interesting because just like the Meowth and Drifloon from before, they seem to be just like standing there, which seems to indicate that it's their idle animation. And so, like, since I know Pikachu, I can probably talk about him in the most detail. So Pikachu's idle animation is him just basically just grinning at whatever he's staring at. So in this shot, he's actually rubbing his face, which means one of two things. Well, I guess one of three things. So the first thing could be that it's not an idle animation and it's actually something else, but it really looks like it's just an idle animation because he's not engaged in battle or anything like that. So second thing that it could mean is that idols of specific Pokemon are just being replaced, or even maybe all of the Pokemon are just having their idle animations replaced with something else. Or the third thing is that Pokemon are going to have more than one idle animation, which means when they're just standing there in a battle or in a camp or something, they can actually express themselves in more ways than just, say Pikachu just grinning or that sort of thing. And so I would probably prefer that over all the other outcomes because you know uh, I like having the Pokemon express themselves. So moving on, we have Blissey asleep. And so this animation is actually carried over from Legends Arceus, which means that all of the Pokemon should have their animations from Legends Arceus. So that includes like sitting, swimming, sleeping. A lot of those animations should be ported over and new ones made for the ones who weren't in the decks before. So that's an exciting thing. So Viper here looks very clean. The light is reflecting off of him, and because of the light reflecting off of him, you can actually tell that he has scales, which is really nice and good attention to detail there. Larvitar, again, really good lighting. You can see the light reflecting off of their skin and everything. And once more, Magnemite being metallic is having a really good reflection with the sunset going on here. And not only that, you can tell in the back there's someone standing on this tower, or maybe even something, but it looks like they're wearing a red coat and have pink hair or something. Yeah, Lucario. And so now we're getting a shot of the city itself, middle with all the types on it. And this seems to be your main character's house. So there you go. Look at him go. So this seems to be the female character, wearing a shirt and tie. And here's the male character, just hanging in the house. And they had to get advertisement in for the OLED Switch. So yeah, now we're back here in this room, and this shot is really interesting. I don't know why they chose to show all these different foods. I'm thinking they're probably some foods native to Spain or something, but these bread things are very interesting looking and seem pretty tasty too. And then the thing that made social media go crazy, got the three starters. So I don't know the starters' names, and the reason being is that their names are very, very long, which uh, I don't know. Like starters in the past have had pretty short and concise names, which makes them pretty easy to remember. Like Charmander, Bulbasaur, that sort of thing. But these I've seen that they have like X's in their names. I don't know. I don't know any of them. I'm sorry. I think Quaxley is the water one, so I do know one, but that's because Quaxley is my favorite. I think he has just a really iconic design. I don't know. But yeah, that's just about everything that this trailer had to show. Apart from the name reveals, I guess. And then that's just before The security guard is locked in Game Freak's office for forever. All right. So, yeah, like I said, there wasn't really much else that the Pokemon Presents had to show. Like there were a couple things for Pokemon Unite, and the announcement for Legends Arceus was very interesting. Just no other new games or anything. So that's just about everything that I had to cover here. So if you had any insights from the trailer or maybe even some of the other announcements that were made, just feel free to drop them in the comments. So don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed what you saw here, and I will see you all next time.